Hello guys, I'm Super Ron, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see we're back at home for another home renovation Ron episode. This is my house I bought earlier in the year. It's supposed to be just a quick decorate up, but of course things spiral out of control as always. We've done quite a few episodes here and you seem to really enjoy them, so I thought I'd carry them on. We had first of all in the front room taking all the coving down, revealing the nice crisp corners to all the rooms, which is going to be perfect for the modern look I'm going for. We had an episode up on the roof where I was dancing along the ridge to cap off the chimneys and put covers on the ones that weren't used and take down the old aerials and clean all the gutters as well. And then all because there was just two central heating pipes running externally up the wall in the living room. Things escalated massively there and I ended up getting all the pipes chased inside, which is why we've got holes everywhere. But then we have got all cool new radiators with the super awesome mirror radiator in here as well. But the next thing on the list that I need to sort is what you saw in a previous episode. We've got a major lighting problem in the front room. What I said about the lighting in this huge room, this is the only light. We've got this one here and no lighting at all at this side of the room. So at night time you get a little glow here. And up here, you have nothing. The light switches are still on the wall. So you've got that one, does that end. But this one does nothing. So of course I could have just found the extra light that was up this end, hang it down, and would be job done. But with the super modern look I'm going for and the nice flat ceiling, I thought spotlights would be an awesome idea. So I did lots of planning because with such a long room, I didn't want it just to look like a runway with a strip of lights going down. And there are probably new computer ways to do this, but I absolutely love drawing. So I got my old technical drawing school set out and measured up the room and started planning where all the lights were gonna go and what little options I had. So I come up with this cool design where everything overlaps nicely. So the next job is to get that transferred onto the ceiling and hopefully miss all the joists. It's going to be a bit difficult getting up there with a tape measure, so we're going to start playing with some freaking laser beams, get that all on the ceiling, carry on from there, because what I'm finding now with the dark evenings, I can't carry on fixing all the walls because by the time I get home from work, it's so dark in there, I can't see what I'm doing. So we'll get this brightened up and then the next job is going to be start filling all these chases in and smoothing it all off. So that was a nice bit of fun with the laser beams there. I had all my drawings drawn out to scale, so I knew I wanted to find the middle of the room and the edges, so I got all them marked out, and then I measured across where each one was going to go. But then of course we got right to the last one and found some joists. So I had to move along a bit, and then the next one found the joist. So I just had to keep shuffling around, and now I've got them all clearing. I just drilled little pilot holes. Then I put this bit of wire up in there, spun it around, see if it hit anything, so I knew I could get a hole big enough. And we are all clear. Took a few goings, but I wanted to make sure everyone was exactly, and we are NASA spec, every single one is in line to the millimetre. All the crosses are dead in the middle. As it turns out, the light is not in the centre of the room. So I've just had a little test fit with this one. We could get them all wired up. Just had a look in the back of the switch, because as we saw on the last one, this one is for that one. This one does nothing, but it is still wired in, so somewhere up here we've got a live wire. If we can find that, it's going to be awesome. Five holes, let's get it wired up. That's the spaghetti all run, get it all linked together. Not a big fan of linking into all this mess, so just found one of these to stick in. Much better. Back in the half a door. Power back on. Woohoo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5. Six more holes. Let's get some lights in. All wired up. The tentacles are dangling down. Again, I wasn't a fan of all them chocolate blocks, so put another junction box in. Get that covered up. We can put the floor back down again. And here it goes. Woohoo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6. Pop them back up. And all on. Can't get over how light it is in here now. You can see pitch black outside. Since I've lived here, we've had no lights up this end at all. So it's just been darkness. This is awesome. Can't even fit them all in. Even from this view. Looks awesome. So the next thing is going to be sorting these chases. Now, I'm not really sure the best way of doing it, because of course the big problem is going to be heat inside the wall and the big possibility of them cracking. So one suggestion I was giving is to plasterboard the whole room, and then it won't be any problem whatsoever. But we've got 8 meters long, we've got doors, we've got windows. I'd really rather avoid that. So when I look closely, they're breeze blocks, walls, and then they're rendered, and then they're plastered, it looks like. So I'm kind of a bodywork guy, so I reckon I'll try and V it out a bit like it is here. So there's not such a sharp edge. Then I have got some mesh to go over this. And then I'll try and get it rendered in. I'm not so worried about the bottom because I kept that below the skirting line. And then the pipes just pop out the wall, which is going to look so cool once it's all done. I've got to try and fill these up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to V it out, put the mesh in, render it up, and carry on from there. So I've V'd it out a bit so we haven't got a definite line where these are going to go in, and took the architrave off. And where the conservatory is, this opening actually used to be a window before a conservatory was there. So with the architrave off, still a nice join where the window used to be until you get below the window, and found another hole. Complete with a bit of token gesture newspaper to take the draft. So I think while I'm here, I'll fill up this hole as well. So I must admit, I haven't really got a clue what I'm doing. I've V'd this all out because that's what I'd do if I was working with fiberglass or car bodywork. And last night I PVA'd it all up because that's what you've got to do to stop all the moisture getting in all the bricks and it all sucking out. The funny thing is my best friend is actually a plasterer, so he is going to be loving this. I've spent the last 20 years mocking his automotive abilities, so he is going to be sapping this up. But he's given me a bit of advice and he said to use some render base because that dries absolutely rock solid, to put in there first, and use some mesh to bridge it, and hopefully that's going to limit any chance of any cracking, and then just give it a skim over the top to start with. I also filled up the gap with some expanding foam so the cavity is now sealed because there was quite a draft coming through there. So that's what I'm going to give a go today, get this render base in and the mesh across. Hopefully seal this up. We might have to do a couple of goes at the top because that is a bit deep there, I think, where the big bricks have come out, but we'll see what happens. I'm doing this one first before I do the front room because I'm actually going to wallpaper all the hallway, so it's not as critical if something does go wrong or something does crack. And if this goes well, I'll just do the same in the front room. So I know I can make some pretty cool creations out of filler on cars, so let's see how it goes in the building world. And as if things didn't need to escalate anymore, I got curious and this threshold just slid out from under there. It wasn't actually fixed in, because what I was planning on the flooring in here, we've got laminated flooring in here with this ugly threshold, and in here this is actually just lino. So I was going to redo all the floor from there, get rid of this threshold, come all the way through, no joins. But now looking at the conservatory, it is dead level, the floor in here to in the conservatory, so I could come all the way through, no thresholds, one piece flooring. I don't know why I do this to myself. Well, I don't think that went too badly. It's all in there. I think I'm going to have to put some more on the top because it was a bit deep. But not much landed up on the floor. So I've just got to give it a bit of a zigzag pattern for the next layer to stick to. Well, the test has gone pretty good. So now Let's do this one. I'm going to V it out, PVA, mesh it up, and seal this one up as well. And another day, the PVA's all gone dry now. So you can see where it's all chased in below the skirting line, so I'm not too worried about that, because that'll all be hidden. And then the four that come down from the roof. What I learned from doing the other one is it's quite jagged on the edges, so I've just smoothed the edges where the V goes in on this one, and hopefully it'll make it a bit easier. And I'll do all along the bottom as well. Let's get going. And all done. Went even better this time. Got my little crosses in there. It's nice and flat. Even less ended up on the floor this time, so we must be getting better. And all the way along the bottom. Just pops out. Where these go. So it's going to look nice and flush. So looking down the room, they're going to be nice and flat. Just got to let this go off now. Don't really want to turn the heating on and chance it'll drying out and cracking. Luckily, back to the old school. And a few days have passed and this has all gone off nicely. It's all gone light grey now. And it is absolutely rock solid. As long as this is stuck to the other wall, which it should done with the PVA, I don't think we're going to have any cracking problems at all. And I put another little skim in the top of this one. So that's now nice and flat. So still not entirely sure what I'm doing, but the next stage is going to be plastering. So I'll give that just a quick sand down, knock the top off, PVA, and then give plastering a go tomorrow. I want to smooth off this door frame as well. So I'll put some in that hole. Because as well as escalating this floor across, so we've got no threshold, I'm probably going to get rid of the architrave as well. So it's all nice and smooth. So let's get on the next stage. It is plaster day, got everything ready, got all the beading on, I filled up those gaps in the middle, so let's smooth it out, see what happens. This one's all ready as well. And all done. Not as messy as I thought. Seems to have gone in really well. I have to wait till it's dry, but it seems to have blended in nicely. I took it nice and wide, so there's not a big bulge there. But it's really, really flat. And all the radiators are now smoothed in, just popping out. And the new doorway all done. Like I say, it's all blended in. Really, really flat. This one's drying out already. Not bad for a mechanic that's watched a few plastering YouTube videos. And another finite. Let that dry nice and slowly. And all done in the door frame as well. First time doing overhead, that certainly brings a new dimension into things with gravity, but starting to get the hang of this. And while I'm letting the plaster go off slowly, I've been going around filling all the little holes, hooks, shelves, everything that used to be in the room, all the curtain rails, the blinds, all the picture hooks, every hole. I don't know how someone can have so many pictures hanging up. There was mirrors and all sorts in here. Got the firelight again so it dries out slowly. Telly's still not plugged in, but the next job is going to be this Ray-Ban has got to come out. And I wanted to see what it is sitting on. It's on some kind of plinth, it's on all these tiles. So I smashed them off earlier, and under the grey tiles were some dark red tiles, but that turned out they were just painted terracotta. Took them off and found wood under here. But it looks like that's just the shuttering for this big concrete plinth. So it looks like there is a solid concrete plinth under this thing, which is going to have to come out because I want to get rid of that and do the flooring right to the edge. So I think this is going to be some heavy deconstruction, because in here it's all thick metal full of fire bricks, but that's going to be an adventure in itself. Well, as usual, I got a little bit carried away. I did all the little holes that I found, but the more I rubbed down, I kept finding little paint edges and little bits where brackets had been or curtain poles had been. So I ended up getting the filler out and going all the way around, getting every little imperfection, every paint edge, every hole, even where the plasterboard wasn't quite lined up properly. I've rubbed all that down. So now it is super smooth. Got rid of the fireplace, filled in all the holes there. So that's just going to be a nice smooth opening. Been all around the edges, anywhere there was a tiny little crack or an edge, sanded them all down and got rid of the paint edge where the coving had been painted up to, smoothed all that out, so you're not going to see a line there now. So this is going to be super smooth. So now we can start thinking about making it all one colour. First coat on, looking better already, and second coat all going nicely until here. Don't know what's happened. I was rolling away and it all started coming off on the roller. So there's a big step here and smooth here, so for some reason it's hooked up and all that has lifted. It's like it's had a skim of plaster, but it hasn't actually stuck. Idiots. There's the ceiling all done and another couple of coats on the walls, so that's 3 or 4 coats, but the pink is now finally gone. It looks awesome. Much better than the pink. Shame this bit's spoiled it a bit, but I've just painted it white for now, so it's not in my face. Let's get these lights popped back up. I couldn't just leave that as a ledge, that's annoying me already. So ripped out all the old stuff, got all the stuff. It looks like it just wasn't PVA'd on there. PVA'd it all up and gave it a little skim. How can you tell when a bodywork guy is doing DIY? The trail of snow. So we'll get this rubbed down and get it white and finished off, and then put the room back together. And all painted up. I was just going to leave it, but one walk into the kitchen and I just couldn't leave it like that. So we're all smoothed and looking fantastic. And I've got the rest of the room cleaned up and all back together. And I could not be happy with the results. It looks so different. All the hard work in all the prep, getting rid of all the holes, smoothing all the edges, and the chase has just gone in perfectly. You can't tell it's there at all. It's been done a few months now, and there's no cracks, no sinkage. As you can see, it's dead flat, like there's nothing under there. All the work going into all the holes where the poles and the shelves and everything were, and all around the fireplace where all the holes and the dents. It looks super crisp now. And that huge ugly vent that was up in the corner, all bricked up and smoothed off. I'm gonna have to put a vent in because of the wood burner, but I'll put a nice little discreet one down at a lower level out the way. But from what it was, it looks absolutely amazing. All around the arch, so much more crisper. All the bad filler work has gone. It's finished off. What a transformation. The lights, the walls, the colour. The pink is gone. And the wall on here is still in plaster at the moment, but I'll just put a coat of white over that as well. But even that has made such a difference. Not bad for a mechanic who watched a few YouTube videos. And so that's going to wrap this video up here. I'm so happy with the outcome. This has been a long process. This has just been a few minutes for you guys, but for me, this has been about 4 or 5 months since we had the chases put in. I did the rendering and I left that for a month or so just to check that it wasn't going to crack or sink, and then plastered it all and left that for another month, and then painted it all up like it is now. Luckily, because I've just got the new laptop, I've just been transferring all the files over, so there's a kind of a little reminder at where it started, because it just seems like I've been in this state for so long now, and it seemed like it was getting to a never-ending task, but it's turned out perfect. All the hard work before has really paid off. I love the spotlight design. I'm really pleased I didn't just do 2 tram lines going round and it looked like a runway. These look absolutely perfect, and the light everywhere, so much brighter. Especially for the first 6 months of living here, we had no light up the other end at all. It's like I'm not even in the same house. So this is just kind of phase 1. Everything is white at the moment and it will be going into colour. And don't panic, I will be taking the radiators off to do the final colour. I just had all them masked up just while I was getting everything in one shade. And then also the big phase 2 will be, I want to do the flooring. I'll probably be doing laminated flooring throughout the whole of the downstairs. So coming across from this room, right into the kitchen, right through, right out into the hallway, and right into the conservatory with no joins, no thresholds, just completely smooth, sleek lines. But for now, we're nearly at Christmas. I wanted to get it all back together to have a nice Christmas here with the kids, so it looks presentable again. It's tidy. It is so bright. It looks like Pablo's Colombian villa in here, and I'd love to keep it this white, but I don't think it's going to stay that clean in this household. So I'm definitely going to carry on filming the home renovation run in the future because you guys seem to love watching them. The next one is going to be taking this Rayburn out of this end. I don't think it's going to be a small one. Apparently they do all come apart, but this one has been together for 50+ years, so I'm not very hopeful about that. It's big, heavy and dirty. There's going to be 50 years of soot up that chimney, so when we take this one out, I'm sure it's all going to come crashing down, and then we've got the task of trying to get this thing out of the house. And then we can take up all the tiles and discover what is actually under this plinth, because before we do all the flooring, I want to get all this flat and all level with the floor, because I don't want to do all the flooring with a cutout and then take this out and have an odd edge. Also up this end, what my plan long term is to put cupboards all the way across here so it's all flush. Probably get rid of the 3/4 door and just have a nice lot of storage up this end. Have full floor to ceiling cupboards with big doors so we can just shut everything. I'd like to get it as clean and discreet as possible. So even if they're like flush doors and just push to open, that will tidy this end up nicely. So for now, I'm just gonna lay the old skirting boards back on, but eventually when we do all the floor, I will put in all new skirting and architraves all the way around, so they sit on top and be nice and flush. So there isn't those edges all the way around. The kitchen as well is gonna be a big project in the future. It's just about hanging on and it's working, but that really needs to all come out as well. And as I've said in the previous video, just outside the door that way is a big outhouse and utility room, so I'd love to extend into that and just make the kitchen a lot bigger that way. There's so many options and so many opportunities in this house, but it just takes so much time, which is the main reason we haven't had any kit car videos since I've had the house. So I've just been, all the spare time that used to be on the kit car is now here on the house. But one day this will be done. We'll be back on the kit car and that series can continue, because I'm not such a fan of just keep popping swapping projects here, there, all different cars. I do love watching a good series, so we'll be back on the kit car one day. But as you can see, we've still got a lot of work here. But I'm pleased it's back as a house, back as a home, and ready for Christmas. Make sure you give this video a like, and it just goes to show, don't ever be scared to try anything, do your research, and the results speak for themselves. So subscribe for more videos on the home renovation run, on all the car automotive world. But until next time, make sure you have fun.